Hey, it is Friday, October 4th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective of martial arts school owners, small business owners, we're just trying to figure out this thing called life. We want a successful business. We want to be profitable. We want freedom of time. We want a business that works for us and the ability to provide for ourselves and our families really well, for our team, and of course, give back to the community that serves us as well as we serving them. Let's begin by thanking my sponsors. As always, we have Tusaw, simply the finest in martial arts supplies, market muscles, providing websites for the martial arts and dance industry. My studio, also the number one CRM system, I believe, in the martial arts industry. Kids Love Life Skills. We need life skills. And if you don't have Kids Love Life Skills, please reach out to the team there, and they'll be happy to partner and create that thing that we've experienced for 24 years in our schools of positioning our business as one that is an investment for a child. And you're not going to do that unless you have life skills. Cool. LT Accounting, of course, my sister, we've had prayers for them in the Carolinas with everything that's going on since the Hurricane Helene went through, and Letitia has power back, and she's grateful for that. So she's on the ball with her bookkeeping, as well as getting out those orders for Kids Love Life Skills and Kin Creative. When we talk about digital marketing, I've been both blessed and cursed to have study that market so intently over the past year now. And I'm a huge learner, but learning means opening your mind to every aspect of that industry. And as amazing as it is, it's very scary of what can be done with digital media to influence people's mindsets, their buying habits. And if you have data to drive it, people lean deeper into it. So I believe my role at Kin Creative, as it is to fulfill my purpose, is to be that voice of reason, of balance, in producing authentic stories and content that's going to help you inspire and create a curiosity for your demographic within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location. We look at the advent of social media, and it's so wide open. And I want to run on this tangent for a minute. And back when I think the First Amendment was written, to be as political as you'll ever hear me on a show, you had Paul Revere riding on a horse across the countryside going, "The British are coming." That's not where we are today. There's nobody just using smoke signals from mountain to mountain. I mean, the truth of the matter is we have so many different platforms and ways to express that freedom. But I think with that becomes a deep sense of responsibility. So at Kin Creative, when we tell your story, we're going to be as authentic, as honest, and transparent as we believe fits the core values of what we do. And I think that's important. That's really, really important. And when you choose to opt out for some AI generated matrix type looking scene of someone flying through the air, doing a flying kick and all that, and then they walk into your school and it's nothing like that, I believe there's a huge disconnect. So in your cultivation of your brand, I just want you to please be very mindful of how valuable that brand should be to you and telling an honest, transparent story. Cool? And that's my rant today. So what do we got coming up? You know where I'm going to be next week? I'm going to be in Texas. That's right. I'm going to be at the Machado Fall Training in Texas, doing a couple of speaks out there, talks, as well as I'm going to do Breakfast with Brannon on Saturday, October 12th. That's going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's really cool. 20 of us hang out in a private room. We get to eat chicken and waffles at Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. And we're going to plan 2025. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to share all the different things we do to have been a sustainable, profitable business for the better part of 24 years and continue to be relevant to this day. And the pivots and the strategies and the philosophies and the systems and the different things we've done to negotiate that space and still be a successful, relevant business. I study Apple, I study Disney. Why is Apple just as profitable today as it's been, in the past 15 years? The relevancy and their philosophy of taking an iPhone and not totally rebuilding it, but always going deeper, a little better, a little deeper, right? I think that's really important in our business. I don't want to constantly be flipping and flopping, right? This month I'm judo, the next month I'm BJJ, next year I'm going to change to, some acrobatic martial arts. I think it's important to have a set clear vision of who you are and what you want to do. And I think Breakfast with Brannon, we've done them in Vegas, we've done them in Texas, we've done them on the East Coast, we've done them in Europe. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. So if you know somebody in Texas and they want to hang out or you want to fly in, I definitely recommend it. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. It's time, life, purpose. Blessed. We only have 4 spots left for the 4-day experience. We just had someone sign up from Germany, 2 people from Germany. So there'll be an international gathering of people, as one would say. Myself, Dave Kovar, Adam Lodi, Sam On, and Shannon G. Park, plus my It's Time group mentoring team will be there hosting this amazing event for 4 days. But you can stay for 2 or 1. I mean, that's fine as well. But I highly recommend. I do believe it is the #1 martial arts growth event simply because of the experience we create over the 4 days that's unlike anything out there. Cool? All right, so let's get into it. I think success is something you plan for. And success for me is not just a knee-jerk reaction because I can't make rent at the end of the month. Anytime a school owner hits me up, hey Bob, what's up, Bob Poole from Goals Martial Arts? I love it when you come aboard, say hello, tell me who you are, where you're tuning in from, and we will definitely give you a shout out. And so when you hit me up at the end of the month and go, I need 10 new students, I go, well, it's the end of the month. What's going on there? Well, I'm having difficulties making the rent. I said, well, that's a budgeting issue. They go, no, I need 10 more students. No, that's a budgeting issue. You need to plan your budget accordingly and have the discipline to stick to it, unless there's unforeseen things like, major water leakage or something of that nature that you can't always foresee, right? But you should be saving for a rainy day. So success is definitely something you plan for. And that begins with you creating a calendar a year in advance. Got it? So, what's the best way to facilitate that? Well, I tend to lean into Google Calendar because I like that you could put links in there. I have different color coded calendars for Kids Love Life Skills, It's Time, for One Martial Arts Millway, One Martial Arts San Francisco, my personal calendar. They're all color coded. I can turn them on, I can turn them off, I can send myself notifications, I can give other people access to it so they can see what my schedule is before they book in something else. It's just such a strong platform, and the level of communication that you can create, the synergy with you and your team to have a bird's eye view of everything going on, I think is unparalleled. Unparalleled. So I highly recommend that you use Google Calendar. Cool? All right. So what's the first thing we should put on that calendar? Does anybody know? David Diaz. What's happening, David? How are you, sir? Mm. So what's the first thing if we're mapping out our calendar for 2025? What's the first thing that should go on that calendar? Little pop quiz. Anyone out there that's watching the show, put it in the comments and relay. What is the first thing you should put on that Google Calendar? Does anybody know? I'm going to tell you, your curriculum calendar. That should be laid out first. And people ask me, well, why? Why the curriculum calendar first? Well, when I talk about staff development meetings and training and things like that, it's all under curriculum because that is the bread and butter. That is what we deliver. That is where we make our most amount of money. If you look at your income, I guarantee you the majority of the revenue you generate in your martial arts school is with martial arts curriculum. So I want to be mindful that we just had that discussion because somebody else wanted us to add a trunk or treat. And my guy's response was, well, our priority is the curriculum. I got you, sir. You are right. That's what we live by. So we'll say no to that trunk or treat. Good. So, I mean, that's why we've always made curriculum a priority. And it's mapped out so clearly. And I've shared that with everybody. We have Learn Week and Earn Week. So it's a no-brainer. This week you're learning curriculum, this week you're earning a stripe. It goes on for 3 months, we have 6 stripes. At the end of those 3 months, we do a month of testing, in class, makeup stripes, and reviewing. Now, it's not an actual month because we make sure that that calendar coincides with the school district calendar because that's what parents are working with. Every parent schedules their holidays, their travels, everything is scheduled around what? The school schedule that their kid has. So it made a lot of sense to us when we designed our curriculum and earning stripes and bell testing and all the rest that it too fell in line with their schedule at their school. You with me? You with me? And so the big question school owners give me is a whole month. It's not a whole month. The kid comes twice a week. That's 4 curriculum classes a month. The B day is sparring. It's 4 curriculum classes a month, right? Realistically. So even though we're on 2 stripes, we're going to learn, drill, and tip out, in 2 classes lasting what? 40 minutes after the warm up stretch and the game at the end, right? And the live talk. So we're really, really mindful of that. And then, of course, if the first belt testing falls in April, what's going on? Spring break for a week. The next one falls in August. What's going on? Last minute vacations back to school. December, what's going on? We're closed for a week for the holidays. So it's not ever going to be 1 month. But I think strategically, the fact that it falls in line with the school district calendar allows us to administer curriculum better, but more importantly, be in the flow with our family and children's lives. Cool? So number one is curriculum. And that also lets us know when to order belts and print diplomas and all that stuff's being done, all of it. And then, of course, with that, when we talk about that curriculum calendar, is scheduling in your staff training. We're always training, in advance for the upcoming 2 stripes, right? So as we came into October, we're coming into red and blue stripe. There's a red and blue stripe for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So to have your staff try to train on everything from white to black belt makes no sense at all, at all, right? So we want to make sure that we're teaching them how to teach these stripes optimally. So they're age specific and skill level specific. So curriculum's laid out, all the staff training's laid out. Cool. Now, what happens after that? What do you think goes next? I think sometimes it depends what's really going on. Of course, April, tax time, right? For most people, that takes precedent, that takes priority. But I'm really strategic about, what needs to happen and what it gets scheduled around. So once that curriculum's laid out, the next thing we go into, and this is super, super important, is laying out our entire expense calendar, right? And people say, well, that's not in line with your profit first. When you talk about profit first in your 5 bank accounts, I know I'm jumping around a bit. You have an income account, you have a tax account, you have an owner's compensation account, a profit account, and an expense account. On the 10th and 25th of every month, we fund, based upon the income, we fund the tax account. That's not my money. That's the government's money. Then we fund owner's compensation, right? If you can't make your personal bills and stuff, that's a bad day. Profit, even if you take a dollar, the habit of taking profit and having a profitable business is crucial to your mindset and the development of your company. And then last, on the 10th and 25th, we're paying out our bills. Cool. And so that budget, by putting that second for us, really keeps us mindful how to spend money responsibly. The death of a business is when they spend randomly and they don't create a budget. So when you're doing this expense thing, you're also creating your budget for 2025 very clearly, whether it's painting the school or whatever you choose to spend that money on, that you're very mindful, right down to the penny, right down to the penny, what that means. And you know what really taught me that? And I want to share that. Mm. I had a cousin who worked for Toyota, and he shared a very bizarre fact. He goes, "Do you know that Toyota, right, this billion-dollar company, billion, I don't know, it might even be trillion at this point, this company buys enough toilet paper each month for the facility that I'm in." And I sat and go, well, why did he give me this fun fact? Right? And I really thought about it. Even a company as big as Toyota is still a cash in, cash out basis, right? sell so many cars, take in so much revenue, pay all the expenses. Here's the monthly profit. So in their budget, they even budgeted toilet paper. How they got the data on that, I don't know. I don't want to know. But think about that for a moment. They only buy enough toilet paper that you need for that month. Me, I would go to Costco and buy, a billion rolls so I don't have to go to Costco again. But that could jack up your expense sheet that month, right? So we try to be very methodical about that as well. You take in 30,000, you spend 20,000, you pay everything, you have $10,000 profit. You take in 30, you spend 45, you're in the hole. You take in 30, you spend 10. Again, that type of randomness is not good for the health of a business. So, and you're planning out that budgeting for the year, right? Even with projected growth of your school, and I always flatline. I say at the minimum, and this is just a baseline, even though we do have our financial goals to grow the business. If I do as good as I did last year or a little better, it's a good day, right? And that way you keep your head in the game and you don't find yourself bummed out and depressed that your school's not growing. But the yin to the yang of that is you don't sit back on your laurels because you become that school owner that 100 students year in and year out for decades and decades. You should always have a path of growth. But what is that path of growth? Going right back to that first calendar, teaching the curriculum, learning to teach it better, training the team to teach it better, improving the curriculum. That's number one. And I believe if we're constantly bettering that, the teaching and the curriculum, that we will grow. We will become more profitable. I think the mistake with that is for a lot of people, they think their school growth only happens with marketing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Retention to me is the key to growing my school. Number one, bettering our curriculum is right up there with growing the school. Having a great staff, that you take care of well, and it's their career and their life. That is what grows your schools. So the priority should always center around when I talk about budgeting, right? Other than rent, gas and electric, those different things, that we're very mindful in that budget. I'm constantly doing this with my staff. We have a cost of living increase every year. It's not a performance thing, right? None of that exists in my business. I believe the dollar you made in 2023 is not going to go as far in 2024, is not going to go as far in 2025. So a cost of living raise needs to be in there for everybody. It's not a performance raise, it's a standard raise. And we implemented that several years back, just like we raise our tuition every year. Every year, it's about $5 a month. Every year, like clockwork, we raise the tuition. You with me? So that's why that second calendar, we talk about putting in all the finances, the expenses, the budgeting, that whole thing, money, that whole money calendar of payroll and all those different dates are real important. Real important. So that's why that one goes second. Cool? All right. If you have questions, if you're coming aboard and you haven't said hello yet, could you please do that? I'd love to see you there. I know that you're there hanging with us. Tell us that you're here. I think it's a little odd when somebody says, I've been watching you for years and, listening to your stuff and it's helped me with my school. I love connecting with people. That's a big part of who I am and what I do. It helps me fulfill that purpose. So if you're here, you're hanging out, tell me who you are and what's going on. So, what was the first calendar? Curriculum, staff training, all that kind of good stuff, right? Number two, my complete financial calendar. I need to know down to the penny where it's being spent, how it's being spent, why it's being spent, and all that. You know what I did yesterday? I even used that Rocket Money thing to find out if I had any subscriptions that we no longer use. And we found a couple and we're getting rid of them. I don't care how cheap they are. It's just a waste of money, right? Even something as basic as that. So the third calendar, and I think when I talk about this calendar, people need to see it more than buying Facebook ads or doing a direct mail piece, those type of things. Hey, who's this? Who do we have? From Canada, CMA, what's happening? CMA, who is this? Ah, yeah. Hey, how are you, sir? Sir Ivan, what's happening, sir? So for me, this third one, when we talk about marketing, marketing is a lot of things. Okay. So write down this one first. Retention events. Because I don't care if you get 10 new students. If you lose 10 students, you're at net zero for the month. You with me? So it's really important that I help create a culture of value. Now, stay with me. This is a little salesy. If I give you $100 and you give me $500 worth of value, odds are you're going to retain me as a customer longer. You with me? So, on top of what you do pay in tuition for this amazing curriculum and life skills education we offer you, and that is why parents, families see us as an investment for their children, not an extracurricular activity. No way. We are not soccer, football, baseball, none of that. We are an investment in your child's future. But that needs to be communicated at your website, your Google business page, your Instagram, your Facebook. We don't even use the word membership. We don't use the word tuition, right? We use the word, tuition investment, and that's our role. So those retention events, what are they? The Halloween party. Halloween is one of the biggest child-centric holidays. So we should be leaning into it if we cater to kids, right? Absolutely. So the upcoming Halloween party that we have at our school, it's geared for our families. Pure and simple. It's not a lead generating event, pure and simple. The holiday party we have, same thing. The mom and me party we have, same thing. Dad and me, same thing. Family fun days, same thing. So there's a certain amount of retention building events you should have in place to build brand loyalty. Write that down. Brand loyalty. That's why you might consider Parents' Night Out only covering the cost of pizza or whatever and staffing. We do them for free for Valentine's Day. We do a Parents' Night Out on Valentine's Day, totally free to our families, right? Again, our way of supporting our families, we just tell the mom and dad, make sure that you go to a restaurant without a kids menu, right? We make it into fun, but retention events need to be there. People say, what does that have to do with marketing? Everything. Again, always live by the philosophy. If you get 10 new students and you lose 10 students, you're at net zero. Net zero. Of course, the digital marketing company, and I'm in partnership with one kin, right? I work with kin as part of their family, part of their team. We get you 10 students. We fulfilled our job. You lose 10, that's your own damn fault. Better your staff training, better your Disney experience, better your curriculum, right? But it's so easy to let that be skewed and say, well, we haven't grown. No, 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 no. Be mindful. We did our part on this side. So again, I think that that's super important for me to help supplement that is that we're doing amazing retention events. Okay. So that's the first part of that next layer of marketing. Um, and then, of course, because right behind the budgeting you just did, making sure that your Facebook ads are scheduled out, that you have the money to cover that, and they're laid out strategically, right? I think the big thing with working with digital media, and that could be a whole nother show next week, Marco. Maybe we'll do a show on that, is when does an ad fatigue, right? When do you need to run a new ad? Right? Is it always fresh, new, relevant? I think that's real important. And it's important because you know your demographic better than even we do, that you let us know, right? We're moving into Oktoberfest. I want to do something for Oktoberfest if I'm in Germany. Who knows? Who knows? But for me, making sure that I'm budgeting accordingly. And they say most companies are doing 5 to 10% of their gross, right, into marketing. And that's important. That's very important. But it's our industry that doesn't look at that, right? I think we're really behind on understanding the value of proper marketing, even more so what it truly is going to cost you for that, financially with that investment. So once you get your Facebook ads, then of course your social media posts need to be consistent, right? Different schools of thought. Gary Vee, we should say, post as much as possible. At the minimum, Facebook will say, 3 to 4 posts a week. Use your Meta Business Suite, set it up, go in there and post. And I post at my Facebook, my Instagram, Google. Google is really important. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's really important that you are active at social media and you're leveraging and using it well, right down to updating your website. That should be scheduled in there. With Market Muscles, you can do a pop-up. What should the pop-up be right now? Well, we have a confidence building workshop. Well, it's got to change that thing out. What's coming up next? The Halloween party. So leveraging those pop-ups, and I know we're talking Market Muscles is a lead generating event website. It's supposed to get you leads, But that pop-up can often tell a story. That pop-up can help. Like, I want the community to come to you know, the Bully and Confidence Workshop this weekend. Absolutely. So, in those events, I understand marketing goes way beyond Facebook ads, right? Those retention events is a form of marketing. Keeping my Google business page up and active is marketing. Updating my Facebook, Instagram, website is a form of marketing. And then, of course, within marketing, we talk about all those external events, right? The beginning of school year, the confidence building school talks. That's a standard. PE teacher of the day. That's a standard, right? For some people. For us, we have the cotton candy machines, and that thing's been in rotation heavier than it's ever been. We're doing it for Halloween, again, kid centric. We'll do a trunk or treat at Diane Feinstein Elementary. We'll do a trunk or treat at Green Hills Elementary. We'll do a trunk or treat at Meadows Elementary. We're doing two Halloween parties in our school. Then, of course, on Halloween night, we do the cotton candy at my home. And there's literally, I kid you not, a line around the block. There's 400 people were here last year. And now we can post it at next door. I can drop a pin and people will know this is a place they can come to for Halloween. It's the only place serving cotton candy, right? So I think it's important that when we look at those external events, stop thinking about the ROI. And I think that's the big thing in marketing. We only want a return on investment. Well, rethink that one for a moment. I'm going to tell you why. And I can see people sitting up there as you come and say hi. Tell me who you are. And if you have a question, anyone listening to the show, please plug it in now and I'll be happy to answer them now. Don't wait till the end because you know me, I can talk in one full stream with that. I think the challenge with the outside events when we look at the community, I know we're limited time wise and resource wise, is that if you can remove the ROI from the table, the return on investment, I think you have a better opportunity of earning the trust of people. So if and when they're ready to come to you, if and when they're ready for martial arts, they'll undoubtedly come to you and only you. And I think that's important to recognize because otherwise you're going to do one event and never come back again. Do another event and never come back again. And I've watched people do that when I did an open house at my kids' elementary school when they're in elementary. I show up to back to school night with the cotton candy machine, doing my thing, right? And I look and there's a podiatrist. Orthodontist, a pediatric dentist. There's somebody else. And next year they're gone because they saw no ROI on it. But to build goodwill in the community, to be a constant uh, pillar in your community, somebody people can count on and go to, I think is unequaled, is unequaled. So last Sunday, the cotton candy machine was at a family day at an elementary school. Go figure, right? Go figure. That cotton candy machine has been uh, at least 5 different locations in the past month. So those outside events, if I can take the ROI off the table, if I can stop limiting myself to a school talk and a demo team, I can really fill out that calendar with events that serve the community, give back to the community, and best position our business. So if and when somebody's ready to sign martial arts, they'll come to us. I'm not at this family day picnic thing on Sunday to sign up for martial arts lessons, contrary to what you believe. But do we responsibly have QR codes everywhere where people can scan for after school or camps or birthday parties and things like that? Absolutely. Absolutely. But my primary purpose of us doing these events are to give back to the community. As Gary Vee says, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Right? So I think it's very important that we position our business as one that cares. So, what else goes into that calendar of marketing? Well, I think we've covered the bases, really. And if you do all those different things, you're going to find internal, events for retention. You can do lead generating events. Absolutely. I'm working with a new schooler and I told him, go to your local Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And every Friday, you book a confidence building workshop for one troop, then the other troop, why not do them all at once? No, no, no. Your school is empty, like a restaurant. I just want people in your school all the time. Either way, you pay rent. Either way. And it's like walking by that restaurant, nobody's in it. Are you going to be inclined to go eat in it? No. But if you walk by a restaurant that's packed with a line outside, you're curious enough to want to get in there and eat. So for the new school owners that are only trying to teach and be open on nights they're making money, that's a bad choice. That's a bad choice. You want that thing filled. I remember my son was in kindergarten at the time, and we gave away birthday parties to everybody in his kindergarten class. They just brought the pizza and cake. I took care of the birthday party because either way, I'm paying rent. And if I chose to do it myself, which I did at that time because it made sense payroll wise, right? It was a new business, then you save all the way around. You with me? You with me? So I think we even when it was raining, we sat there and hit everybody up in text. Hey, it's raining, everyone. Come to One Martial Arts and play some dodge. Want to hang out? We'll get pizzas. And, what that did for our community was powerful, because it gave a place for parents to go with their kids because it was raining and they couldn't go to the park. And we hung out like people. We cultivated community, right? And it was a good day. Last Sunday at this fun day, right? At Spring Valley Elementary, this family day. Who walks up to me? The superintendent of schools. I go, wow, I see you finally had a break here. Can I have a cotton candy? Absolutely. And we had this short in exchange. But come on, if you're in cahoots with the superintendent and you're on their good side, getting to the PTA presidents and everybody else is a lot easy entry. You with me? But had we not been at this family fun day, had we not been that business that has the reputation to always contribute back to these different events, the superintendent wouldn't have been able to come up to me and we had this conversation as human beings. So I can't push that enough at you guys. I can't, because all I ever get is what's your ROI on the cotton candy? What's your ROI on this? Well, I don't think it can be measured when we talk about caring. You with me? Classic example of that. I don't know where we had seen them somewhere, but a girl who was a martial arts student of us 10 years ago, today her brother just enrolled, not, when the school year started, in our after school program. Why? Because we're constantly out there. People know who we are. People know we're there. Constant, out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. So you have to find ways in all your marketing to make sure you stay on the mind and on the eyes of your demographic in a 3 to 5 mile radius, right? And so that's why I'm very passionate about working with kin, and I'm very passionate about understanding that, because we are not some weight loss drug or mushroom coffee. You cannot market your school that way. Yet all the algorithms and the people that have data will say market like this. No, you're giving me data for a weight loss drug. I need to own a 3 to 5 mile radius of my brick and mortar location. So when I'm writing in all my marketing in that calendar, again, that was budget before the calendar. I need to know what I'm budgeting. Cotton candy's not free. Staffing's not free, right? All those things cost money. That is part of my marketing. It is, right? When we donate, and this is also in that marketing calendar, who are we donating to? What silent auctions? The majority of the birthday parties we do today, because our bandwidth is smaller, are birthday parties that were bid on at some silent auction, things like that. But we have a whole calendar. They come to us now. I mean, but we try to put it in the calendar for budgeting, is all these different things, a week of camp, birthday parties, all this stuff we're giving to the school district. It is an expense to us. It is part of our marketing. You with me? So that marketing calendar is pretty robust, right? There's a lot going on in there, and rightfully so, because you need to market your business. So whether it's inside or outside, retention, your Google business page, all these different things that you do, it's super important. Hey, Josh, what's happening, man? Josh is coming out to It's Time Life Purpose. I can't wait to see Josh and his sister. They're going to be with us for 4 days, Marco. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And I'm going to challenge Marco to reach out to you and just make a connection. I know I'm older now, but I say you good kids, Josh. You got a good heart, man. And I look forward to trying to really help you guys impact and grow, to grow your school out there in Oxnard. So that's your third calendar, right? Now the fourth one, and this is important as well, maintenance calendars. Right? I walked into Starbucks, which I never go to, but we were all out of our organic coffee beans. I had credit card fraud, so I didn't update the card. So they didn't ship my subscription. So I went into Starbucks for the wife. And again, it was remodeled. Again, I'm going, man. And I looked at it. They say they remodel Starbucks every 10 years, but I think they do it a lot more often than that. I would say five in more of the high traffic uh, locations. Like, for example, if there's four, I think there's three in Millbrae, maybe three locations in Millbrae. The one that gets the most traffic probably gets remodeled every 5 years. So you should have it, should be standard, right? Some schools will turn it into a culture event. This is spring cleaning, and you get some of your students to come in and they wipe down all the equipment, because decluttering is a mindset of any successful person. And when I do school tours with people and I look around their school, it's a telltale indication of where their current mindset is at. Not that it can't change, not that it can't grow, but here's the epitome of that. I was consulting a school in St. Louis and I was doing a walkthrough. And the first thing I saw on the counter was a brochure holder. And I looked at that brochure holder and it had a walkathon. Wasn't their walkathon. I guess they were helping somebody in the community, breast cancer, leukemia or something, a walkathon. Now, that's not a bad day. You know what the bad day was? The brochures sitting there in plain view were 2 years old. 2 years old. That to me was a clear indication of that school owner's lack of focus, lack of attention to detail, lack of a lot of stuff. So that's why if you make it a new habit, and that's why that calendar is so important, of painting your school, decluttering, throwing out stuff. And if it's not written into the calendar, you're not going to do it. And that's why I'm so big on these calendars. A lot of people say, well, I have a list, but there's no timestamp on that list. There's no sense of urgency. And guess what? If this is my list for the week and I do 1, 2, 3, and I don't do 4 through 10, 4 to 10 just moves over to next week's list. You know how many people have stuff that's been on the first list, the second list, the third list, the fourth list, and it's still not done? So studies have proven making lists for most people does not work. But if I get that ping in my Google Calendar, I get a notification, it's time to start this, I do it. When it says ping and it's time to go to the next thing, I stop and go to the next thing. And that's what I love, again, as I said at the top of the show, about doing everything in your Google Calendar. You with me? So that whole maintenance thing, and I like it. I love cleaning our schools, decluttering. We got a new after school pegboard to hang the prizes the kids earned. All those little things that I know you may not think are a retention thing, they are. They are. When that parent comes in and you have a new soap dispenser, or that parent comes in and you've updated the baby changing table, or that parent comes in and they see all new pads, right? We take all our old pads and we literally give them away, to our existing students. But it's also an announcement. We're getting new pads to keep things safe here. So again, all that type of stuff that goes on in our school, where it comes with updating things, bettering things, all that needs to be social media out, right? And you can make it into something important. Like right now, we're getting new air conditioners. So I'm going to post the photos, right, of what's been done so far, so they can see we are proactive versus being left in the dark. It's hotter than heck right now here. Where's those air conditioners? Where's those air conditioners? Where's those air conditioners? Again, I understand that very, very, not very well. I understand it very, very well. So you can use these different things, like post the pegboard. Look at our new after school pegboard with our prizes on it as a reward system for after school kids. Oh, pretty cool. One Martial Arts does that. My after school program doesn't do that. Maybe I should put my kid there. On and on, on and on, on and on, on and on. So in that marketing, right, I can now be borrowing from these other calendars and they become dates on it, right? So if every year you paint the school in September, then it should go onto your marketing calendar, right? And it may only go on like the One Martial Arts Friends and Family page. And I would say, hey, folks, sprucing up the place, looking for everybody coming back after the summer. Look what you got to look forward to, as well as at my business page. At One Martial Arts, we believe in offering the safest, cleanest, most updated environment possible. Here we are painting the school, right? To offer you a better experience. So whether it's on my friends and family page or whether it's on my business page, I can leverage that experience that sits under the maintenance calendar and move it into marketing as well. It is not the little things that matter. It's everything that matters. I was teaching one of our young volunteers yesterday to putty the holes in a wall. Why? Because I have time to do that, right? And I asked them, I said that to this 14-year-old boy. It's not the little things that matter, it's everything that matters. I said, why do you think that is? Because I'm always curious to know what people think, especially young people. And he goes, well, it's not the little things that matter, it's everything that matters. Because if I do the first thing wrong, then it's going to probably be hard to do the next thing right, and then the next thing right and the next right. But if I do this one right, then it's easier to do the next thing right and easier to do the next thing right. I thought that was just like poignant. It was just like, wow, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So again, that's that calendar. Painting, cleaning, dusting, changing filters, servicing the air conditioner, all those things you can also put into your social media calendar if they're relevant. I imagine if I'm a parent in your school and my child has, respiratory issues like asthma, and I know you use a hyperallergenic filter and you post a picture of the service guy changing out these filters in your HVAC system that are geared to help people with things like asthma. That's a social media post and that tells a story. You with me? But if I don't lay it out in my calendar of what goes on in that year, and think how they coincide. If I'm buying air filters and replacing them every 3 months, right, in the maintenance of the school, that goes under expense, that goes into marketing. It can be used in a couple of places. Are you with me? So that habit will start to happen. That'll happen, right? If it's something like that, you'll see them fall into other calendars and you create notifications so you know to do those things. You with me? All right. I know, right? I know. You thought just get some calendar how to get 10 new students here. Cool. Take a deep breath. Anybody else coming aboard? Say hi. Tell me who you are, where you tuning in from. Mm, mm. Okay. So now we just finished, all of the maintenance stuff. That's all been in there, right? And this is a big one for me. And it actually is probably the first calendar now in my life is my own personal calendar. Dentists, right? Cleanups, checkups. Those are real. Hey, James. What's up, James? How are you, sir? James has got a big test coming up, and I wish you well on that black belt test, sir. I'm sure that's going to be a very proud moment for you, and I'm going to miss you at the Breakfast with Brannon. But as again, anybody in the Texas area, if you want to come hang out with us, Marco, maybe you can find the link for that. Click through and post it there. No, you're very welcome. James is a very high-end operator. What I loved about James when I saw him in Texas last month in September is he knows what he wants to do. And that's three-quarters of the game, man. Know who you are, know what you want to do, and methodically chip away at it until you achieve that success. And that's important. Gotta have a plan, Sam, right? Gotta have a plan. And I think the challenge is with many small businesses and martial arts school owners, they have no plan. And I enjoyed sitting with James and his team that night, and then Noah was there as well. So it's just good thing. So now my personal calendar, right? My yearly physical, my dental cleanings, my own personal, everything that's personal, family vacations, recitals, soccer games, basketball games, all of it. Because I, as a human being, need, not want, need to be at least 90% of my children's activities. And I can say by the grace of God that I have been to at least 90% of my kids' stuff. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. And that's a priority in my life. But that calendar still sits there above, right? And then at times, it's kind of like these calendars can shift positionings on what day has precedent and that most important. But like I said, in Google, I color code these calendars. So I'll look at a Saturday, and if Braden has a basketball game or Taya has soccer and they want me to do something, I'll say no. I've said no many a times because it is an earmark of a successful person. Successful people say no. They do say no. You have to be willing to do that because you only have so much of a bandwidth. And I can't be everything to everybody. So I need to make sure that I'm managing my time well. So that personal calendar is really important, real important. And we should look at that carefully and make sure that that delicate balancing act we're fulfilling that. And you have something to look forward to. If like we're going to Japan next year, it's already on our calendar, and nothing will stop us from going. I don't, no matter what comes up, we're going to say no to everything during that time we're in Japan. So again, but you have that to look forward to, right? One of my clients is getting married next year. That's a big deal. He has something to look forward to, right? All of that's there. Maybe you're flying somewhere for the holidays to be with other family, something to look forward to. So that calendar, it's kind of like your personal maintenance calendar because it's got dental and doctors and things like that. It's even like getting my wife's car serviced, right? Getting the car serviced, all those things about paying registration on our cars, all those different things should be there, all of them. Because again, I want to have an optimal life. I'm trying to live my best life. I cannot do that if my personal life is unmanageable. I simply can't. And I, again, gratefully, anytime you see the window of opportunity to outsource something to people you trust, do it. I have a bookkeeper, a lawyer, an accountant, right? All those different people help make my life easier, easier and more manageable. And better than easier and more manageable is efficient. My life is efficient. All right. And then let's say, good. I'm doing good on time. I want to leave room for questions. Okay. And then, of course, that last calendar, and probably to me, the calendar that often I live in a lot is my dream calendar, right? I want to buy property in Hawaii. Okay. What's the date for that? 2026? Who knows? Right? I want to, I don't know. I've been skydiving, bungee jumping, zip lining because I'm afraid of heights. So I tend to try to face that, any opportunity that I get. Um, the dream calendar is important. Your wish list, however you want to label that. And if I can fulfill one thing off that dream list in 2025, I'm a happy camper. I really, really am. And when the stuff from the dream list can move down into my personal calendar, that's a real good day. It just simply is. Okay. So that dream calendar is so, so important. Cool. Cool. All right. So let's review our calendars. What was the first one? Curriculum. Everything that's got to do with training, becoming better instructors, facilitating this curriculum, that is number freaking one. Number one all day. Number two is my budget. When I go into that budget and I lay it out and all my expenses are in there, rent, electricity, insurance, all of that, I'm super, super clear on how to manage the money well. Well, not a little bit, well. And that's important for me. Right. Third, I believe is marketing, and marketing, as you said, is retention events. Marketing is external events. Marketing is keeping your Google business page up. Marketing is your Facebook and Instagram page. Marketing is updating your website. All of those things come in there, right? All of them. The maintenance calendar, painting, remodeling, changing a toilet, all that should be in there because it's also going to impact the budget calendar, right? And then, of course, my personal calendar, checkups, car servicing, even all my personal bills are in there. Believe me, and insurance, property taxes, all those different things, they need to be spelled out in black and white. They just do. Holidays, recitals, all those things I named. That's all my personal maintenance. Now, I don't need to separate those calendars as much because I have people that handle them for me, but I'm very aware. I'm very aware of all those things. And then last but not least, your dream. You got a dream. So I want to open the floor to questions. I want to make sure I leave a lot of time today for that. And while I'm waiting for you to post some questions in there, folks, please think about joining me next week on Saturday, October 12th for Breakfast with Brannon. It's become a very fun experience. This one's going to be at Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, Saturday, October 12th. And we will. I cater to the individual. I'll send out an email ahead of time. Again, when you're working with small groups like that, it's very easy to be fluid and answer your questions and come in with strategies to help you, because my purpose is to help you grow your business. That's what I do. And it could be a personal thing for you with your mindset. It could be a staffing thing, could be a curriculum, could be a systems thing, could be a need of a rebrand, could be so many things. But I understand what it takes to do just that. So maybe Margot can throw in the link for that. We have that coming up. It's Time Life Purpose. As I shared, only 4 spots left for the 4 days. It's going to be neat. It's going to be neat. But again, we only take 20 people, and it's to me, it is very much a spiritual journey as it is a business journey. The day of personal development on Monday, just people are crying, people are having breakthroughs, and that's what it's about. If you've been stuck at 100 students for decade after decade, there's fundamentally something challenging in your thought process, and it's something we need to look at and address. So it's Time Life Purpose right here, Millbury, California, 5 minutes from SFO. We're going to be having that going on with Dave Kovar, Adam Lodi, Shannon G. Park, and Sam on. Of course, yours truly. Yours truly, yours truly. Again, we have the 1 day and 2 day, which has openings, but the 4 day, there's only like 4 spots left. So I'm super excited about that. I know it's extremely overwhelming, right? It's so overwhelming owning a successful small business. And that's just the reality. That is the reality. And somebody said, my wife will often say, "You're too much." I said, you know what? I'd always rather be too much than not enough. And if you're going to be a successful small business owner, you need to be too much. You need to be too much when it comes to being a great martial artist. You need to be too much when it comes to being a great martial arts instructor. You need to be too much when it comes to being a successful small business owner. And you need to be too much when it comes to being an entrepreneur creating passive income where you're making money and that money's making you money. I think it's a crime that people own small businesses and they make money and they do nothing with it, right? I'm not sure why that is. It sits in a bank or something that's making 2 or 3%. I don't know. It's wonderful to create these revenue streams outside of my businesses that are making me money on a daily basis. And that's true entrepreneurship. Now, in your version of success, you may never get to that. Maybe you're content with being a great martial artist, a great martial arts instructor, and you get the skill set to being a great small business owner. And then you just take those threes and go deep. I'm not big on going bigger. I'm big on going deeper. And if deeper means opening more locations, we will. We will. It's not like we can't afford to do that. We just don't have the need to do that with these additional revenue streams that I've created for myself. But if the team merits it, you know it. I'm opening a school for my team anytime. So what questions you got today? You got any questions about your calendar? It's not the most exciting thing. It's not, as they said, I was talking to a person at San Francisco City College because I do seminars and stuff for their entrepreneurship program. I said, we got to stop looking at entrepreneurship as being sexy. It's not sexy. It's not Shark Tank. You just don't go in there and get $1 billion and you can have the backing of Mark Cuban. It just doesn't work that way. Real entrepreneurship, real small businesses, real startups, it's messy, it's dirty, it's expensive. Everybody's broke for a number of years. That's the reality. And they try to skip over all of that to think they're going to get a deal on Shark Tank because their presentation is sexy. And it's the same thing in our industry. I see all of this inertia when you look to open a school. It's but really it's the disciplined habits of the daily grind that moves that needle, right? Success isn't in these broad strokes. It's in the mundane. Success is in the everyday. Success is doing the stuff that needs to get done and doing it better each and every day. But don't get me wrong. Open the door, take the money, teach the classes. That's every day. But what are you doing to grow that school? What are you doing to create passive income? What are you doing to better your team and create a company people want to work for? So you always will live in this dual universe. You simply will. Because if I don't open the door, take the money, teach the classes, nobody eats. The work doesn't get done. But if I'm not moving the company to its next level of growth, you're going to fail. Look at the tech industry. AI is thing. Remember how everybody was so metaverse, 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 metaverse? A couple years ago, coming out of the pandemic in 22, metaverse. AR, augmented reality. Virtual reality. That's nowhere as big as artificial intelligence, is it? Is it? Because AI was the pivot and they pivoted hard. And every one of these companies out there, from Meta to NVIDIA to Google, take your pick, Microsoft, they're all leaning hard into AI. But their earning can go like this too. right? And almost flatline at times. But it doesn't mean they're not positioning themselves for growth, because great businesses, as well as your business, should know when to contract. When do we contract? July, right? July is one of the roughest months. We contract, cut payroll, right? Keep things tight, and then we expand it back to school. So great companies know when to contract and they know when to expand. Ralph, what's up, Ralph? All the way from Switzerland. I always praise Ralph, and I'm so proud of what he's done. You know, he is a model student. When we worked together, he started with 68 students. And I think Ralph's at 230 now, 240, something like that. So that's a good day. That's a good. And thanks for taking care of Svetlana. She's coming out to It's Time Purpose in November, Ralph. And she went to visit Ralph in Switzerland and got to train. And that's what we do. We take care of each other. Anybody can come to my school anytime they want to hang out. And that's, I think, something neat about what we do. What we do. So you're going to get to work on that 2025 calendar, please. I would go back and watch this one several times, use it as a reference. Take what you need, discard the rest. But believe me, if you don't map out your success for 2025, you will not be ready for it. You simply will not. Any event like our Halloween, we're prepping that for that 8 weeks out. That should be in your calendar too, not the actual date of the Halloween trunk or treat or the Halloween party. No, all the steps of the different dates to work on it to make it a successful event, right? There's all those moving parts. There just is. There just is. So watch this. If you don't know a Google Calendar, take a tutorial on it, get it set up. It's amazing. The level of communication it offers us with the team, the synergy, right? That everybody's on the same page. Nobody has to always look at my calendar, ask me, are you available? They can go right into Google and see when I am booked and when I'm not. It's just so phenomenal. It simply is. Cool. Let's thank our sponsors, Marco. Let's thank them. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting, Kin Creative, all companies I work with, all people I believe in, all impactful to the success of my businesses. Cool. Next week, I'll be in Texas. So Marco will do a rerun. Maybe we'll have, the team do something at It's Time Group Mentoring, but I will be in Texas. Did I say Mexico? Some phrase, I think that came out of my mouth. I'll be at Lolo's Chicken and Waffles on Saturday, December. Help me out, Marco. Saturday, October 12th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's going on, as well as I'm speaking on Thursday at the event, which is what? The 10th. I'm speaking at 4 o'clock at the Carlos Machado Fall Training, as well as I'm speaking on Friday at 9:30. So a lot of good stuff going on. I love Carlos Machado. He's a good man. I'm grateful to go to Texas and help him fulfill his vision and do that. But while I'm there, if I can break some bread with you, I understand Lolo's Chicken and Waffles is phenomenal, phenomenal, as well as we'll eat good, we'll fill our bellies, and we'll learn together. Cool? Cool. All right. So success is something you plan for. Know that. It's not random. It's not random. It's not random. And the more you strategize, creating that calendar of success for 2025, the more confidence you'll have to move and make decisions and pivot and adapt and orchestrate that year of 2025 to be the best year ever. Cool? All right, folks. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.